it's time for you to go on this longer jump.
Forward. Thank you.
As soon as I come in here, my chest is going like I want to catch.
Oh, what's just come up there? What's just come up there in front of my eyes? And the figure. In my rooms here. Yeah. And I feel like this next personality spirit, rules the roost here.
Past Hunters.
Hello and welcome to the Past Hunters. Today we're investigating a Grade 2 Sessions house right in the heart of Knutsford, Cheshire. Formerly known as Knutsford Crown Court, it was built in 1818 and is a 3-storey Georgian-style property made from sandstone block and column construction. During the 1800s, Knutsford Sessions House was directly opposite Knutsford's very own jail, which many of the inmates sentenced here would have also ended up imprisoned in. Many people have been tried here, and some have been sentenced to their death. At least 7 executions are believed to have taken place here, including hangings. Men held inside the court cells would have been isolated from each other, and women were housed together. There are 2 courtrooms in this building, one for minor crimes and one for more serious. Currently the building is undergoing refurbishment, and the current owners have found letters of confessions to crimes that had been pushed under the main doors and never been noticed by the Sessions House. This building has never been investigated before, and Past Hunters will be the first team to investigate what could be haunting this building. Paranormal activity appears to be rife in the Sessions House, with reports of screams being heard in the corridors below the courtrooms. Doors have been heard slamming in the cells with no one in the building. The sound of crying has also been heard throughout the building. Are the spirits of people sentenced here returning to haunt the location? Are the tormented souls of the people hung here still residing in the building?
So, Bex, what location are you taking us to today?
Today, Derek, I'm going to take the team to a Sessions house in Knutsford, Cheshire. Dominic wrote into the Past Hunters. He said when he's there alone at night time he can hear strange goings on, so he'd like the team to come investigate.
My name's Dominic from the courthouse, and we've asked Derek, Acorah and the Past Hunters to come down and investigate any paranormal activity.
Never been investigated before either.
Really?
Really.
Okay. Well, Sean, what equipment do you think that we should be using on this location today?
I think we should mix it up tonight and use the PSB-11 again.
Yeah.
And involve maybe the K2 meters and plenty of lock-off cameras.
Derek, what type of spirit, if any, do you think we'll encounter tonight?
Well, Bex, with it being the nature of what it is, a court of law, an old court of law, where prisoners were tried and who knows, maybe hung on sight, we're likely to find possibly 1, maybe 2, I don't know, grounded spirits, the angry ones that have not really moved on or not wanted to move on. But we should encounter an awful lot of visiting spirits and an awful lot of residual energy. So I'm really looking forward to it.
What will tonight have in store for the Past Hunters? Let's find out. So we're here today in Knutsford Crown Court. Hi Dominic.
Hi there. How you doing?
Derek, this is Dominic. He wrote into the show.
Pleased to meet you, Dominic. Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Dominic, what can you tell us about this room?
Well, this is the courthouse. This was the former Crown Court. There was lots of cases from your burglaries right the way to your murders here. It used to hold up to about 700 people with the jail on the back, and documented there's been at least 7 hangings here, so quite a creepy, eerie place.
An active place.
Yeah.
Derek, are you picking up anything up for initial thoughts in here?
Well, I am, because whenever my solar plexus are affected, it's this sort of atmosphere. that affects it, and it's basically the fear that's still in the atmosphere, in this ether, embedded in the ceilings and the walls, in the floors, that residual energy of fear, anxiety, hatred. There's a combination of everything in this ether.
Yeah.
And if it hits my solar plexus rather quickly, that means that, you know what, anything can happen here tonight.
Right, okay.
Because if there's grounded spirit people here,
Yeah.
and there's more than one of them, they can cause, well, we'll have to wait and see, but through my experience, we could find it a little bit uncomfortable.
Dominic, have you ever had any experiences in this room personally?
Not personally, I don't find it a very comfortable place to stay at night.
Yeah.
But a few of the guys that we've had on site have always said it's a bit eerie.
Have they ever caught anything on camera or?
No, there are usually quite a few people on site at the time.
Right.
So no.
It's one of those.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? Yeah.
Do you want to take us down?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. So Dominic, this is the condemned man's corridor. Can you tell us something about it?
Yeah, so the prisoners would have been taken through into the cells
Yeah.
at the back, and then when they were called through into the court, they'd be taken down here and brought up into the main courts,
Yeah.
you know, full of a few hundred people. It'd be pretty scary for them.
Yeah. Derek, do you feel anything in the atmosphere as soon as you walk down here? Obviously there's a temperature change, isn't there?
It's even a more in-depth feeling of that energy, of the fear factor that could be contained in a person's mind.
Yeah.
And it just envelopes me, it just covers me up. And also, when I mentioned about the anger, I mentioned hatred. It was more anger, as we come down, it's more anger than hatred.
Yeah.
Anger that, you know, that they really don't know what's going to be the outcome, even at this stage, the outcome for them.
Yeah.
They have an idea, but they haven't got that total outcome. So it's just a fear factor that's just all around.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel as if makes me feel as a medium, is I want to get out of here and just
Really?
get away from the
That's
atmosphere.
strong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dominic, what would these doors have been used for then?
Well, I presume these were further cells.
Right.
They're actually bricked up from the outside.
Really?
So we don't actually know what's behind these.
So have you ever tried to get into
Well, not as of yet, but there's rumours that a lot of people say that obviously the prison cells were on the back
Right.
of the thing, since demolished, but apparently there's a network of tunnels leading through from the cells to the actual
Wow.
courthouse.
Wow.
So, very interesting.
How are you going to get into them?
Pure muscle. Might.
I like it.
I'm afraid, yeah.
Should we move on?
So as you can see, there's not much room, not much to do, unfortunately.
Quite tight, isn't it?
So, yeah.
So, how long would a prisoner have been kept in here then for?
I'm not too sure. It could have been a matter of days. It could have been a few weeks, depending on how the verdict was, I presume.
Yeah. Derek, what do you feel initially when you come in this room then?
Well, initially, I'm picking up more than one personality character actually came into the cell. Not one single person.
Right.
I don't know its history, but it's like when I come across that threshold, I felt as if we had two prisoners that were in the same room at the same time. For how long, I don't know, but two. I don't know if you know the history of things.
No, I don't. By the very nature of them being judicial cases, we don't get the insight into the...
Now, the two could be, they were put in together because they were being tried for doing the same thing
It's rid themselves. So that's why I feel that's the reason like this.
Yeah.
But it's now virtually calling me from the solar plexus is another cell.
Really?
Because I feel there's more strength in a spirit man that actually does come back here, or he could be grounded. But it's not this actual cell. It's one further up.
Do you want to go and
Yeah,
go
I'd like
through
to walk through there and just see. Yeah.
Okay, let's follow you through.
No, you have to hear when we get close to it.
Yeah.
This is the one. This is the one.
So you say
There's a man's energy very strong in this cell
Okay.
on regular occasions, whether it be, i.e., he's visiting or whether he's grounded. I get the mental picture of the man about 5'8", 5'8.5", not the tallest of men, and not heavy set, but growth here, so like a beard, and also grey curly hair. Looking older than probably what he was, and he had a chest condition. Because as I come in here, it's made me feel as though I've got a chest condition now. That's coming from him. So he wasn't a well man anyway.
Yeah.
But for some reason, whether he was held in this cell longer than some of the other prisoners,
Yeah.
for whatever the severity of his thing. But what I feel with him is also his energy anyway, an unbalance
Really?
mentally.
Mentally.
And I feel that possibly he was a person that, well, for want of a better word, he's hurt someone.
Ah.
And he's hurt someone badly. And his mind is just constant. And yet, no, I don't feel remorse with the soul. No remorse whatsoever. Even maybe when being tried. It's like as if the hatred in his mind and his heart for whatever he did, no remorse.
Pure evil.
Well, close to it.
Sean, what equipment do you think we could set up in here to possibly get the spirit?
Well, is this person still in visitation? Or
No, it's a doubt, so he could be grounded.
So it would be good to set up like a lock-off camera.
Yeah.
And maybe if that presence is quite a strong presence, to use an item in it on the lock-off camera.
Yeah.
One of the items that we've got, and have a look and see what we could use to maybe make him interact.
Yeah. I feel as we do the investigation, this corridor here will be highly activated by his presence, because the residual energy from him is of recent. In other words, it could have been a couple of hours ago that he was actually in and around this area. Presently, his energy is not here. He's just left that residual of being here. But I just get an innate feeling that when we're doing the investigation, that this could be highly charged in this passageway here, especially.
We'll make sure we get cameras covering this place.
Yeah, got the cameras in it and everything.
Yeah.
Tom, do you want to lead the way?
Yeah.
Well, I've just finished the walk around with Dominic, and we were down by the male and female cells, and I was virtually stopped in my tracks by one particular energy that was in the very last cell to my right. And rather quickly in my mind's eye, I got a mental picture of a man. It was about 5'8", not heavy set man, a beard, also grey to black, or black to grey hair. And then I had to experience the feeling of this man's vented anger and intent of feelings. It didn't feel good. Those sort of things never feel good to a medium. However, I delved more and I got more from the residual energy of this man. He's done something very bad, whether it was a murder, I don't know, but no remorse. And whenever I get those feelings from a spirit person or the spirit energy where there's no remorse, they've always caused me problems, and it always caused any investigating problems. So I don't know what sort of night we're in for tonight here, if there's especially more characters like him, so we'll have to wait and see.
Grand, isn't it?
It's a grand place, isn't it?
As soon as we come into this room, this courtroom, what was your first initial thoughts?
Well, sometimes when the spirit people come around me, or around us, the very first, I don't know the reason why, but something happens from the ethereal plane, the spiritual plane, to the physical plane on my body. My bottom part of my legs starts to go so cold, it's like I've walked into a fridge.
Really?
And that's generally, if you had photographs of somebody, sometimes you will see floating and moving orbs around that level of the legs. And it affects down there more than anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what actually happened when I walked in.
Yeah.
It's settled down now.
Yeah.
But I am aware of a spirit man already.
Already? Is he strong? Is the energy strong?
I feel he is, yeah. And he's very well aware that we're here. Very well aware, so...
Can you pick up on whether he's a nice spirit or not so nice?
I'd just say there's a state of anguish with him.
Really?
A state of anguish, yeah. And at this stage, I can't say whether he's showing, not good intent with us. But all I'm saying at the moment is I feel he's very aware of us. And let's see what he's going to respond. Did you hear something?
Yeah, I did.
What was that?
Right behind you.
And it's meters flashing as well.
The meter went?
Yeah.
As
Did you
you
catch
said,
it?
he's aware of us.
Oh, yeah.
There was like a thud over there.
Yeah.
Oh, look. Again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
As soon as I come in here, my chest is going like I want to cough.
Yeah. You know what? There's more to it than that.
Yeah.
Because that feeling hitting you there, it's a wonder it hasn't gone a bit higher, because just at that time, I felt as if I had something round my neck, okay?
Really?
Yeah. It's released itself at the moment, but
Okay.
I feel this is his thoughts and his memory,
Yeah.
something that's happened to him.
You know, if a spirit standing next to somebody who's a non-medium, what
Yeah.
does that feel like for somebody?
It can come in many forms, but I would say generally the opposite to the cooling of my legs would be probably heat to the higher parts of the body.
Oh, right.
Feelings of the warm. It could be feeling clammy.
Yeah.
Sweating. Also dryness of the throat.
Yeah.
These are all, indications
That's
of a
spirits
spirit
near.
person being around very close to us.
Right, okay. And you've got a K2.
Again.
What equipment have you got, and can you explain to the...
I've got the K2, which is flashing at the minute, which it must be picking up
Yeah.
an indication of...
So what does it mean when it flashes?
well, as it's flashing like now, it means that the spirit's coming close to it.
Yeah.
And maybe we should investigate that and try to encourage that tonight.
Yeah.
Encourage that spirit.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Without a
And
doubt.
what's this?
This is a singing bowl,
Yeah.
and this is used to increase the energy in the room. However, I don't know if we need to use it, because this is actually flashing quite well.
It's regular,
Would you
isn't
say
it?
this is a grounded spirit or a visitation?
It's a little bit too early to say at the
Too
moment.
early.
I would say if he's a visiting spirit, it means that he comes back here regular.
Yeah. If we moved around this room, would we be able to pick up more energy?
I think we will, because as we move round, he'll probably move round as
Yeah.
well. He may move even closer to us, or he may even move further,
Yeah.
and we may see or hear something across the room or across the courtroom as it was.
Well, he's definitely here, because it's not stopped as you're speaking about it.
Are you being drawn to anywhere in this room to walk towards?
Well, I suppose it'd be best if we, you know what I think's a good idea here? For you, the lady of
Yeah.
the
To
investigation.
take you round?
You go round
Okay.
slowly and just end up right behind the barrier there. Before you said that, Bex, that's where I was noticing I was going to mention about your coffin and the way it suddenly just started.
Yeah.
And I said, did you hear what I said earlier? And he said it can affect the throat area. And so basically, maybe he's showing more of an interest to you than what he is to us.
Well, because I'm a female.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I mean, it stopped flashing when he went over.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's actually bringing tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
Should we give this a go?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's try that, yeah.
Spirit.
Yeah.
See if it will increase this activity. Maybe you can hold back on me one sec.
Do you want to call out when you're doing that?
Is there any spirits here? Come forward. Let yourself be known to us.
There's a shadow over there by the door.
It's the left side?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the beginning of that, yeah.
I'm so sorry for coughing.
Okay, and you can't help that, that's what's happening.
Oh my god.
It's mental.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Tap down there.
Yeah, I did.
Like it was on her head. Did you pick that up on sound, Dave?
Got a couple of slight little knocks then, yeah.
One more time on this.
Yeah.
Okay, the K2's stopped.
Yes.
However, the feelings are affecting us more, aren't they?
Yeah.
Are you starting?
Yeah.
I'm not getting affected, it's weird.
No, well, maybe yours will be in a different way.
Yeah. Later on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is anybody there?
Yeah. It's starting.
Is anybody there?
What was that then?
I don't know. It's
Was
all
it-
around us.
But they're banging.
Yeah. Can you just stop making me cough, please? We know you heard. As I was saying that, I heard a hum.
I heard.
Yeah.
It was like, ask it to do it.
That was behind you.
Yeah.
Behind us, yeah. Towards where the gate is, where we walked in.
Could you do something else to affect somebody else in the crew, please? Could you make a noise?
I got a hiccup on the sound.
Did you?
If that's what you were hearing, yeah, it's like a hiccup.
Did you hear anything behind you, Ray? Because it sounded like there was some footsteps. Music?
Yeah.
Can you hear that, Dave?
Yeah.
That sounds like...
Can you hear that?
Is that like
music?
fairground music?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
church
Sure.
bells.
Church
Church
bells
bells.
are...
There is a
Okay.
church across
Yeah.
the road, so...
So it was the
Look,
church
I've got
bells.
this absolute feeling, okay, to obey someone who wants me to do something here, and I'd like to try it because we might get some kind of result here. I'm being beckoned to go there.
Let's go.
Okay.
It's like
Wasn't me.
What?
someone
Touch
just
you?
put their hand and just rub my side like
Yeah.
this.
I saw a white figure come this way as you was talking.
Right, I've got to
Somebody's
go
just
over.
touched my leg.
Let me
Go
good,
for
good,
it.
good. Let's
Go,
go over
go.
there, okay?
You
Let's
see
what
what
actually
we've been
happens.
thrown to.
Should I not? Should I not? Okay. I'm just being given a bit of advice here by Sam, my guide. And he's saying he is close by. His intent is mixed and varied.
Right.
You do not offer him a channeling situation.
Right, okay.
So, whoever you are, Michael. Okay, is that his name, Sam? Michael. And he's vicious.
Do we know what crimes he committed?
I feel this person was a murderer, a person who took the life of a person, and he was deranged.
Could he be standing behind you?
Yeah,
Because I heard something.
he's at the back of me. Thank you, Sam. I must not trust him. Okay, none of us trust this one.
Right, okay.
He's the one earlier on who his essence was in the cell,
Yeah.
and he didn't repent or anything before. He was the one. That's where you're getting this.
Yeah. Oh, right, young.
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely. And even right to the very end, he's screaming out viciously at people.
Really, so he's just...
Yeah. Can you get a bit more for me, Sam? He doesn't what? He doesn't want us to know his surname, but can you know it, please? Give me the phone. Michael Johnson.
Right, okay. Michael Johnson.
Michael Johnson.
Okay.
He's here, all right, he's here.
Could he harm us if he wanted to?
I feel his intent
Yeah.
that he would. And I'm not really sure, not because I was going to suggest to both of you
Yeah.
later on for you to go on a long vigil.
I'll go on a lone vigil.
But if
I will.
we do send Bex on a long vigil, we've got to have someone close by.
Okay.
Because I feel this character is going to
Quite
attempt to
vicious.
do something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too dangerous.
How
Yeah.
does one protect themselves then? If obviously they're
Well,
not
before
on
you go
medium?
in, I'll then put that protection on you anyway.
Right, yeah.
But it still wouldn't, if he does come towards you and forward on you, or
Yeah.
to the back of you, it's likely what you would experience before to experience more.
More so, because
Yeah.
I'm on my own.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, the way to, if it does happen this way, if you find that what you're experiencing is too much for you,
Yeah.
you've got to get out of there
Yeah, leave the
quick,
area.
out.
Yeah.
Because he could semi-disable you. I don't mean for permanently, but disable you.
Yeah.
Especially if it comes crashing in your, there he is, yeah,
Right.
in your auric field.
Right,
And I
yeah.
think you're the one that he would.
Yeah.
Maybe he's looking at the,
Yeah.
maybe he was a killer of a woman, I don't know, but
Of course.
This
of
is
course.
splashing as well as
Yeah.
you're talking about.
So
this.
that shows that he's close
Yeah, yeah.
in our atmosphere.
Yeah, it
He's
means
not
it's
good.
it. I
He's
think
not-
he doesn't like it.
yeah.
How old? Can you
I
sense
don't
how old
I
he
don't,
was?
yeah,
No.
I don't pick up any older than probably 39.
Really? He's very young.
Yeah, 39, 38, 39, 40.
And can you pick up on how many people he may have killed while he was
I just get one singular, female.
female?
And if I said this to you, it was despicable what he did, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, what's just come up there? What's just come up there in front of my eyes? And the figure. Wow.
What do you see?
It was 1,
Yeah.
8, 6. He's behind that door. 9.
What do you think those numbers could stand for?
1869. What is that, son? 1869.
1860.
Today.
Great.
That's the time. 1869. With this one. Was he hung in 1869, Sam? He was.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's.
When you said that, I saw somebody swinging.
Yeah, his energy's here. When I was doing at the door, it's a bush. And I knew he was right behind it.
That's mental.
Now we know a little bit about you, Michael. You haven't changed one iota, have you? And you hover around here all the time. But you got no one here to hurt or disturb, have you?
Did you hear that behind
And the K2's just gone, it
Did
was
it flash
going
as
like
well?
right the way through to red.
I thought it was getting interfered by this electrical thing here.
No,
it
no.
It was, but not now.
Okay. Michael, now that we know a little bit more about you, why don't you show a little bit of courage, the right type of courage, to do something more than what you've actually done here in this atmosphere whilst we've been here? Let's say you're walking around.
K2.
Yeah.
K2 has not stopped ever since we
I know.
So in this room is the isolation room where they used to isolate aggressive potential males or females in between the glass. To interview them, I'm going to set up a thermal imager, see if we can capture any activity that may be residing here.
Right, Bexy.
Yep.
It's time for you to go on this long vigil. We're putting protection all around you,
Okay.
so I'll make sure that you're safe.
Okay.
But if you encounter anything that's of ill feeling to you, you come out of there
Right,
quick
okay.
style, okay?
I will, yeah.
And someone will be very close anyway.
Right, well, you guys are just going to be in the
Sure,
corridor.
no,
aren't
it's
you?
just going to be in the corridor.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
only there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
So you remember, protection,
Yeah.
nothing can happen to you untoward.
Right.
Okay, look at this.
No.
Whoever this person is, it's a
He
separate
wants-
energy altogether.
But he can't harm me
No.
at all.
No.
Because you've put the protection around me.
Yeah, I've got the protection around you, and yeah, I know.
So Bex's gone upstairs to do the lone vigil.
Yeah.
What I did notice when you sent her off the lone vigil, this was going crazy.
Yes, I saw that. I was watching it. Yeah.
And as soon as she went,
Yeah.
straight
because
back down.
It's gone with her.
Okay, I'm about to do my lone investigation. I'm going to do it in the bottom cell that Derek picked up on when we were doing the recce. He said there was a strong presence in there. So I'm going to turn the camera around, show you guys where I'm going. Okay. So I'm going to go in to this end cell.
Is there anybody coming down with us here, do you think?
Well, I was aware of another personality, but that was going bonkers.
Yeah.
And he's separate to Michael. And I feel he's more volatile, or he was more volatile even than Michael when he was here.
Yeah.
And I feel that this next personality, spirit, rules the roost here.
And I'm going to call out in a minute. Instantly, I can hear Derek said I need to keep my back to the door because if I see anything that could affect me, instantly I can hear voices, and I've just heard answer. Instantly, straight up, keys rattling. Hello? Oh God. Whistling. Hello, is that you? Michael, is that you?
Okay, so we need to make sure we're proper safe.
Absolutely, absolutely. We'll have protection for everyone, every member of the crew as well, because it's likely to go, well, I don't know, he could go rampant if he wishes. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's listening to us. I mean, the multitaskful, these people, he can be there with Bex,
Yeah.
and within just less than a second, his energy can be listening to us here.
Okay.
They've got that function.
Can you come into the cell room with me? I'm not afraid. Whistling. I heard you whistle. Can you do it louder? I don't think that's going to be picked up on my camera. Thank you. Can you rattle a door or come into the cell with me and touch me, affect me some way? That's the next room. That's the next cell.
There's behind this door here,
Yeah.
there's another room later. And that's what I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
You feel the legs?
Yeah.
Yeah? And there's another room. This is blocked off with brick. Oh, look, as I'm talking about it.
Yeah.
Would it be a room that you feel we should investigate?
If there's, you can get into
I
that.
can get into it for us, yeah.
We'll do that, yeah.
We'll do that.
You'll go in there, yeah.
Because look, that stain on red.
Yeah.
That indicates a high energy.
It's virtually beckoning us to go in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Instantly, the atmosphere's changed. It's become really, really bad. Like there's a horrible presence in the room. My arms are freezing, my legs are freezing. The door, something's banging on the door again. Always happens with doors with me. Come into the room. Did you conquer death, but then in turn create demons that now you can't cope with? Please tell me you picked that up. I'm getting really, really scared. Really scared.
Could the people that have been sentenced here,
Yeah.
and they've not died here, so they've not lost their lives,
Yeah.
do you think they may come back?
Well, there's a likelihood. I personally, if I've been jailed here or kept here for against my wishes, and I left and went and lived a life, my preference would be never to come back here, because this would be a state of misery, you know, by yourself, without your family and stuff like that. It's a different kettle of fish for those people as opposed to the people who actually lost their lives after trial here. A different kettle of fish altogether.
And tonight you're sensing a lot of negative energy here.
Oh yeah. But now one has become really, really so strongly apparent.
Can you reveal them to me, those secrets that you store up in your body? We all have things that we can't reveal. Reveal them to me. I'm going to do a pan of the room. There's literally nothing you can see, it's just a blank room. There's the chair, but you can't really see it. I can hear voices.
I feel, like I said to you before, and I even back-checked this with Sam, he said, he is the main vital negative energy in these grounds, on this building and the surrounding area. So maybe some of the other spirit people who are just in visitation, who may not have known him, or who come and visit, who maybe were here after him or before him, they wouldn't necessarily have to encounter his energy, his spirit energy.
Constant humming of voices, talking. Do something for me. Slam a door. I'm not scared yet. I am scared. Is that somebody behind me? Is that a shadow behind me? Or is that my shadow? There's my shadow. Come on, do something more for me.
They could also be told by others, hey, there's this such a guy who, like, don't stay away from him.
Keep away.
He's dangerous, he's disturbed, he's everything negative.
Deranged.
Yeah.
Proper deranged.
Deranged, yeah. Deranged.
Hello? Can you give us a noise? What did you see?
Just about 2-3 foot from the ground.
Yeah.
Just through the arch. It was just like how can I explain this? It was like ethereal energy, but not just going across in a beam of light, but just, hovering. With that.
It sounds like footsteps outside the room. It sounds like they're getting closer. I'm going to go close to the door, so maybe you can pick them up. And if I stand there with that in shot, then maybe you can pick anything up if anything walks next to the door or past the door. Come on, show yourself to me. I'm not scared. You're not.
You've heard of dark shadowy figures, people who don't really want to be seen in their ethereal body.
That's towards Bex.
That's towards Bex. So this character that we've been discussing now is most definitely hovering around Bex right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear that bang then?
I did.
Yeah. Just go and check out.
Let's
See
go
if
down.
Bex.
Yeah.
That's Bex, I can hear.
Can you hear her? Oh man.
Yeah, that was Bex for sure, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, somebody was walking past the room. Or it sounded like somebody was walking close to the room. You're not going to scare me like you scared your other people. You're not. I'm not frightened like they were. I can take whatever you're going to throw at me. Sounds like a walkie-talkie, but we've got no walkie-talkies on. I can't get out of the door. The door shut on me. The door actually shut on me.